Hey guys, welcome back to the Hot Mess Medium Show. You are going to hear some wind, some birds, maybe some dogs, I don't know, in the background because I am recording this outside because the inspiration hit and I wanted to just get this out and it's going to be imperfect, but that's okay. I just really wanted to get an episode out to you guys. So I hope you don't mind the sound quality. Also, my voice, I sound like I smoke 10 packs a day. I swear I don't smoke at all. My voice has just been so raspy lately as I am still healing from radiation treatments. So bear with me. Okay, now that I have that out of the way, I've missed you guys. The last episode was just so much fun. I had my bestie Lauren Wren on and we shared some paranormal stories, and we do have another episode that we are going to do together, but Bestie's been busy because she just got married, which I'm still just beaming with so much joy for her. It was just such an incredible day. It was literally so perfect. And I got to marry her. I got to be her wedding officiant. It's not every day you get to officiate your best friend's wedding. And when I say best friend, I mean like we've been besties since like grade 7, but we've known each other basically since kindergarten. And so now we're 34 and we've been by each other's side for just about everything. And it was really just a truly incredible, rewarding, beautiful, amazing experience. Like there are no words. So anyways, once, once things kind of get back to normal, we'll be able to record another episode for you guys because I know how much you loved it and we loved doing it so much. And before that, it's actually been like so long since I've just recorded a solo episode, and I don't know, I'm just finally starting to feel I don't want to say back to myself because I really feel like I'm in the process of becoming a new version of myself. I think I've said this before, so I'm going to repeat myself, but I really do feel like parts of me died earlier this year. And I feel like a lot of people are going through these changes right now. And that's why I wanted to come on here and talk about this. Let's talk about these changes that are happening, because I feel like a lot of you are going to be able to relate to this. I feel like so many of us are navigating the in between right now. And, if you've been in my world for a long time, I'm really sorry to repeat myself because you probably already know this. But in case you don't know this, the in between is when you are no longer who you were or where you were, but you're not yet where you're going or who you're becoming. And this is a space where it's so important to be patient and to show yourself grace and to just really honor where you're at, to honor the season that you're in. Meaning, really giving yourself what you need and tuning into what you're needing, right? Asking yourself what you're needing, and just taking extra care of yourself and really being more present in the moment, because you're never going to be in this moment ever again. Like, you're never going to be where you are right now ever again. And maybe some of you are thinking, thank God for that, especially if you are deeply uncomfortable. But what's coming to me right now to share is how there are so many times where I wanted to rush ahead away from where I was for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I was still feeling really wobbly and really new to what it was that I was doing. Right, like thinking of my mediumship journey, for example, being really new at mediumship and still navigating, just the discomfort of that, of being new at something, of not being perfect at something. And I have to roll down my window because bugs just came in here. And yeah, wanting to rush ahead to hurry up and be better and to hurry up and to have already learned those lessons and to hurry up and to already know how to navigate certain difficult or challenging situations. But then I look back and I'm like, damn, I miss that. I don't miss the discomfort of it, but I miss kind of being like a newbie or a newborn, at mediumship. And there's so many things I can recall, right? It's just like when you're, if you're a mom and, you have a newborn or you have a toddler and you're like kind of, well, I know for me personally, like I was trying to rush ahead, like, oh, I can't wait till it's easier. I can't wait till, I'm not having to carry them around everywhere. But then, because in the moment you're like, you don't realize it's going to actually go so fast. Like literally you're in a blink and then all of a sudden your kid is like 16, like mine is. But then, yeah, you look back and you're like, oh, I wish I would have savored it so much more. I wish I would have really taken it all in. I wish I could have been more present. I wish I wasn't dealing with anxiety at the time and just, I wish I wasn't, dealing with whatever at the time, and I could have just really taken it all in, right? We always look back and kind of wish this or wish that. And so, because I personally have done that so much in my life and on my path, I've made it a point to make sure, well, especially also because of what I've gone through, right? When you experience crazy health scares, you look at life very differently and through different lenses. And so for me, like, I'm just soaking in every single day. Like every day, I'm just trying to make it meaningful. Not even trying, just because it's not like I'm, trying to force anything or trying to make it something it's not. It's just I'm just so deeply present, and I'm finding things to appreciate, even if I am struggling. You know, I don't have the endurance I once had. I have these symptoms popping up left and right that are really shitty and uncomfortable. And, it's like, yes, I want to rush my healing. Absolutely. I want to hurry up and like be able to do all the things I want to do. That is still there. That's not going to go away. But I am actively being more intentional with my day to day. And like, right now it's summer, all four of my kids are home, and I see them, like, I see how much they've grown. My youngest is 9, and then I have an 11-year-old, and then I have a 13-year-old, and then I have a 16-year-old. They're all at these really awesome ages. It's making me emotional talking about it because it's just gone by so fast. Like, I can't believe how fast it goes by. And I see them and I'm just in awe of the beautiful, smart, amazing humans that they are. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to go away soon. Like someday they're not even going to live here. Like someday, they're going to be making their own families. And it's just so wild to think of. So anyways, I'm like, I've been taking some time off for my healing because my capacity is just not what it was. It just isn't. And so I can now. It's like I have the time and the space now to just truly deeply appreciate being exactly where I am, even if I'm not like slaying goals or, showing up in the way that I used to, or, doing all these group events like I really thought I would be doing at this time. I'm like, wow, I'm still accomplishing so much by being home with my family. And I feel like me saying that is proof of how much I've grown. It's proof and evidence of just how much has changed for the better in my life, And anyways, I feel like there's a reason I'm sharing all this, and I feel like just so many of us are navigating this period, this space, Maybe for some of you, it'll feel like things are just kind of slow right now and you're wondering, well, why? Like, why is it so slow? Like, what else do I need to do? What do I need to do to make things go faster, to, bring me back to where I was? If you catch yourself saying those things, just take a moment to pause, to reflect and redirect your energy back to exactly where you are right now. And I want you to trust that this is part of the process. There's a reason you're being given this extra time and extra space. What have you been putting off that you need to tend to? What are some things you've always said, like, oh, I wish I had the time for this, or I wish I could do this? What if this time and space is a gift right now? Especially before you're on the other side of this in-between space where you're going to get busier. That's where answered prayers come in. When you are in the in-between space, it means answered prayers are on the other side of it. So think of this as, oh, I'm being prepared. Oh, I'm getting ready. The universe, God, is preparing me for where I'm going, what I'm about to receive, who I'm about to become, so that I can actually hold it, so I can actually manage it, so I can actually appreciate it and be ready for it. God knows. Your higher self knows. And there's a reason, there's a process, there's an unraveling. But also, even before that, there's a reason you've had to let go. There's a reason you've had to release. There's a reason parts of you died back there. Because it couldn't come with you where you're going. You couldn't take it with you, right? And so here we are. We're in the in-between, experiencing changes, noticing how you're starting to handle things differently, or maybe your values are changing. Maybe your perspective is changing. Maybe the things that once mattered don't anymore. And that has created space for you to realize what actually does matter to you and in your life. There's a purpose for all of this. Every aspect of, the challenges you're facing, what you're feeling, what's coming up for you right now. I know for me personally, leading up to this, it was mother wounds, abandonment wounds. It was so heavy. And also, I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge we were I don't know if we're still in Cancer season. I actually haven't been following all of that. It's so funny how even when you don't follow it though, it still happens whether you follow it or not. So I realized, oh, we're in Cancer season. That would explain why I cry so much and why I have all these deep wounds coming up to release, and why I feel like I'm shedding, this old stuff. And anyways, so maybe you were also experiencing that. But yeah, so for me, like I said, mother abandonment, not that my mother abandoned me, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying those were sort of the themes, coming up for me. And I feel like that wave is gone now, and it's created space. And now I'm okay, now I just have this empty space. And that is a very typical thing for the in-between. You end up with this empty space and you feel like you're in the void. And it's, it's uncomfortable because you're this feels weird. This feels different, right? Because change can feel weird. It could feel different because you haven't experienced that before. You haven't been here where you are right now before. And you also haven't been this version of yourself. And in this space, it's so important to not try to fill it with what's not actually supposed to be there, right? Sometimes it's so tempting to fill that void with crap from your past, whether it's people, habits, things. But, and this is also why it's important not to rush ahead, right? Not to try to like, well, I'll just do this then. I'll just take this. Like, it's not a time for these, like for fast action. It's not even a time to make big decisions, I will say. Obviously, as grown-ups, there's going to be decisions that we have to make. But I just mean, if you're still teetering in that in-between space, it's just not the time to make like these big, bold moves. You want to wait till you're in a space where you feel more clarity. You start to feel like movement is happening in your life again, right? It's like someone hit the pause button and then all of a sudden they hit play. And maybe it's slow, like the play button's been hit, but it's still really slow moving. But there's movement. And what do I mean by that? Well, you start to maybe notice, some things moving through your channel again. And you're like, oh, this is interesting. Like for me, today I was like, weird. I haven't felt inspiration in what feels like months, I was like, oh, I'm starting to notice angel numbers again. I feel like I haven't seen those in forever. I'm starting to receive more invitations again. I've had people reaching out. Like there was kind of like a lull, like a pause, but I have people reaching out again, booking weddings for next year, which is so exciting because I'm just loving doing weddings right now so, so much. I've had a few people reach out about group events, things like that. And like, the invitations were still coming, I will say, during that lull space, but it's almost like I just didn't even have the capacity to like tend to those invitations. It just wasn't in me to like respond. But now I'm like, ooh, there's something there. Like I feel like I could respond to this. I feel like there's potential here. Like I might have the space for this, even if it's like I'm not quite there yet of like going back in it full force. I'm just like noticing things are like movement is happening, right? Just going back to what I said, movement is happening. The other thing is like coincidences. There'll be like a word that I keep hearing in my head and then I'll start seeing this word everywhere. Or I'll start to see like the same animal or bug everywhere, and that coming in as a messenger. There's another thing for me, and this might not apply to everyone, of course, but, I have a lot of people ordering pre-recorded readings from me, and I'll notice that as I'm doing these personal readings for my clients, there'll be messages coming through for my client that's also for me. So maybe for you, if you're not doing readings like that, but you're having conversations with people and you're noticing themes in the conversations, or maybe you'll think of something and then they're going to say it like, they end up talking about something that relates to that, or is super similar to that. That's the same thing. That's what I mean by like coincidences and synchronicities and just movement. You're starting to see these connections again and just feel that difference, and maybe you even start to get intuitive nudges again. I even felt so disconnected from my intuition for the time that I've taken off. It was so weird for someone who's so intuitive, or someone who, like, I literally do this for work. It was like it's like I wasn't getting anything because I was in that pause. I even said the other day, like, I feel like spirit really has been keeping their distance. Like, I haven't felt spirit at all. I haven't, had any past loved ones even try to come in. There hasn't been anything. But I think it's because spirit knew that I needed this space. I needed to just be. And in the past, I would have made situations like that mean something negative about myself. I would have started comparing myself to others in my field of work, right? I would have felt like I was going backwards, and like I was just so far behind. There must be something wrong with me. Why isn't this working out for me? Why am I back here? Why aren't I way over there? It's so easy to get caught up in all that when you're in the in-between. But I'm here to let you know that, like, if you've been experiencing any of that, it's so not true. It's so, so wrong. It's so far from the truth. And I hope that what I've shared so far has been supportive in helping you realize that you're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. There's a purpose for this season that you're in. And, yes, there's discomfort, but don't be afraid of the discomfort. It's like, why is this uncomfortable? Or what is this discomfort trying to show me or teach me at this time? What's coming up as I'm saying that is like, when in June, early June, is when I realized and actually got permission from my therapist that I needed to take time off. And for someone like me who loves her job, who loves working, and who loves to keep busy, that was excruciating. Like, it actually was. I was like, well, what does this mean? Does this mean I just sit on my butt and watch TV? Like, what does rest even look like? Like, I was kind of throwing a bit of a tantrum over it because it was just so frustrating. Meanwhile, I knew I had to take this time off because, you guys, I literally went back to work the week I rang the bell. Like, when I finished radiation treatment, I went back to work. I think I did a podcast episode. I was interviewed on someone else's podcast like that week. I think I did a couple of readings that week. And then I went, like, I was doing like 4 readings a week following that. Plus I, went on the whole trip to BC and all that stuff. So I was busy, like really busy. And you know what happened? I burnt myself out. I did. And then I was wondering why I just couldn't even function. Like, my brain wasn't braining. My emotions were all over the place. My body could not. It just couldn't. Okay? It just couldn't. It was sending me all the signs. For example, vertigo. Yeah, vertigo is literally about balance. And it's so crazy how our bodies will literally tell us, like, hey, like, please listen to me. I'm giving you vertigo because I need you to chill the fuck out and, find some balance because you are severely out of balance right now. And, amongst other symptoms, of course. And, yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that. But anyways, oh yeah, resting. It was just so deeply uncomfortable. And I noticed that my brain was like constantly trying to get me to like get up and do things instead of resting. It was a challenge. It really was. But then I learned that, okay, like, resting doesn't mean I have to be sitting on my butt on the couch watching TV. There are other ways to rest. And for me, it was like I needed rest from holding space for others. I needed rest from, channeling spirit, doing mediumship. I didn't have the energy or the capacity for it. There were so many things, and it just meant like, okay, I'm going to slow down. It means I need to slow down and be more present with my kids. And okay, I'm going to start with, tackling things around the house that I haven't been able to. Going to the beach, going for walks. Just because you're resting doesn't mean you have to stay put, right? For me, it's like I still have to move my energy, but I'm just doing things differently. And so I needed to take time off work. And it's just amazing what that space allowed me to receive and experience. And even if, during this period, I feel like I'm slowly coming out of it, which is exciting to me. But during that period, I would catch myself being like, who am I? What's happening? I'd have these moments where I'm like, everything just feels and looks so different. Like, where is this leading to? Where am I going? What am I doing? Am I ever going to get back to work? Am I ever going to receive invitations again? Am I ever going to get back to mediumship? Like, those are the thoughts that would come to me once in a while, because I was just in such an unfamiliar place. But then I would just come back to my center, come back to, grounding, and just being where I am, and remind myself, like, I just need to surrender and trust. Like, there's nothing for me to figure out right now. There's nothing for me to do other than just what I feel called to do right now. Whether it's taking a nap, which I did a lot of those, or again, like going outside for a walk, spending time with the kids, like maybe going out with a girlfriend, Plus, of course, there's a bunch of other things that I had to do, like doctor's appointments and stuff. But anyways, I hope that, what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing, that it is supporting you no matter like what space you're in right now. Whether you're really in it or you're coming out of it, or you feel like you're about to be in it, like maybe there's things you're being called to let go of right now, and changes you're feeling called to make right now. But no matter where you're at, remember there's a reason for the season, and you're right on time. You're right on time. You're not behind, and you're not meant to like rush ahead right now. Slow down. Do something to move your energy. You'll know what that is for you, because it's different for everybody. And just know that clarity will come when it's meant to come. Your next intuitive nudge will come when it's meant to come. That next invitation or opportunity will come exactly when it's meant to. But you can't rush these things. Your answered prayers are on the other side of this space. But you can't rush ahead. It's going to come when it's meant to, when you're ready for it. Okay? Okay. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And just know that I am sending you so much love. If you are in a space where you're like, I could use some guidance right now. I could use some, support in receiving some inspiration or clarity or whatever it is, right? For some of you, you're going to be like, no, I need to wait this out. And for some of you, you're like, yes, actually, I could just really use some guidance. I am offering personal pre-recorded readings still on my website. At this moment, my books are currently closed for like live private sessions, but those will be opening up soon, but I don't want to rush it. I'm waiting for me to get that okay from Spirit. And when I do open up spots, though, my email list always gets dibs. So please make sure you are on my email list if you are so patiently waiting for spots to open up. You can sign up for that on my website. I do have a new class coming up. The details aren't set yet, but this is a, kind of like, not necessarily a class, but more of like an experience where I am walking you through connecting to your inner child and receiving a message from them. So, you could bring healing to your inner child and to yourself, of course. And it's amazing how healing and liberating inner child work is. And I really feel like it's needed right now. I know, like, for me personally, it was very needed while going through the in-between space. In addition to that, I want to walk everyone through doing sort of like a self-body scan, where you are connecting to your body, you're tuning in to what you're needing, you're receiving an intuitive message from your body. These are tools you'll be able to take with you throughout your life on your journey. You could use these tools as a daily practice even. These are tools that I used at the beginning of my journey and I still use to this day because they're so supportive and they're there to help you no matter which version of yourself you are or where you're at or whatever. Anyways, details for that will again be going to my email list. So I'm also the most active on my Instagram as well as Facebook, especially in my stories. So those are all the ways that you can, stay in the loop, keep in touch, and kind of know what's going on. And yeah, there you have it. If you enjoyed this episode, if it resonated with you, if it really supported you, I love hearing from you guys. I really do. Please do not hesitate to, share that with me over on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. All right. So again, sending you love. You've got this. We've got this. Okay. We're in this together, and I will, see you on the next episode. Bye.